Hi, that's me, Dave Pratt, track testing a Scion FR-S at Toronto Motorsports Park. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. And this is the Nürburgring, where Modified Magazine Editor-in-Chief Peter Tarak is track testing KW Suspension's Scion FR-S. Are you sensing a theme here? Turns out Peter and I have actually built a bunch of cool street cars and race cars together, and we've even won a few trophies at the track. Yeah, it's pretty dusty up there. As some of you have no doubt heard, Modified Magazine recently got shut down. It was a sad day for me and Peter since we both had worked there for a long time, but like that old saying goes, when one door closes, another opens. And as fate would have it, we had just signed a deal with Scion Canada and Scion Racing to build and campaign an FR-S for Targa Newfoundland, one of the coolest motorsports events in the world. For those of you unfamiliar with Targa Newfoundland, it's a week-long tarmac rally on a rugged island in the North Atlantic where public roads are temporarily closed so that a bunch of nut jobs and fast cars can ignore the speed limits and drive flat out. And hopefully not into the ocean like that infamous Ferrari a few years ago. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Ooh, la-dee-da, Scion's giving them a car and a bunch of money. But the truth is, we're starting with a hand-me-down race car that's been run hard, turned back to stock, and has a roll cage in it that really doesn't fit our needs. So don't mistake this for some big budget factory effort. The truth is, Peter and I are going to source all the parts and install them ourselves. But first, we've really got to do something about that roll cage. The team that ran this car last year actually took it to Pikes Peak, so they had to have a lot of tubing in here to keep it really safe. But for Targa Newfoundland, we want a much simpler cage, lighter. We still want safety, obviously, but we don't want an extra 50 or 100 pounds in the car. The other challenge is the main hoop was installed pretty far forward because the driver of the car last year was smaller than Peter and I. So we want to move the main hoop back, and as soon as you need to relocate the main hoop, you really got to start from scratch. So we're cutting it all out, and we're going to put it in a fresh cage.
You know you're fast when you got a sweet NOS button. And check this, e-brake is all drift spec. The interior has been removed, so on the bright side, we don't have that much work to do. The engine in this FR-S has been used pretty hard. It was turbocharged, and they slapped a huge bottle of nitrous on it. So we're gonna look at refreshing it and making it a little bit more reliable. Before we get this project going, we gotta get this party started.
With our mandatory burnout out of the way, we got down to the business of cutting the cage out. At first, cutting the bars went quickly, but once the easily accessible tubes were cut out, we learned that we were in for a much harder job than expected.
Well, we've been at this for probably almost 6 hours right now, and we're nowhere near finished cutting this cage out. And the big issue is there's a lot of tight corners in here, and we can't get the reciprocating saw in there nor our die grinder, so we're in kind of a sticky situation where this is going to take a lot of time to cut a cage out. There's no pretty little rules. Big enough?
So I don't think I've ever actually worked on a car with a garden hose before, but we're trying to cut the front half of the cage out here, and it's putting so much heat into the chassis that we had a bit of a fire underneath, so we had to put that out with the hose. And now we're just talking with Pat Sear at a shop here, Serious Garage Works, about the best strategy to get the rest of the cage out here. It's such a mess. We're going to try the plasma cutter. We just tried the oxyacetylene torch, and that was just making a big splattery mess. So I'm going to try something a little cleaner and see if we have any more luck.
Turns out, the plasma cutter is the best tool for the job, or at least the best available to us. It by no means made the job any easier though. The process of cutting up the tubing piece by small piece was so slow and agonizing.
How do you like using the plasma PP?
I'll tell you how I like using it. Like this. See this? Safety first.
amazing how good your hair looks even with the glasses and the mask on.
Yeah.
As you can probably tell, I've pretty much had it with this job. I'll never cut another roll cage out of a car again. And as for Dave...
Burnt through about 3 or 4 of these. Got 4 of the backing plates down to the just nice clean metal so we can weld onto them if we reuse these plates. And I've still got 4 more to go, and I've been at it for hours. My wrists are just destroyed, my hands are cramping. But what can I say? I love to grind. I'm going to do some more grinding now. All right, here we go, kids, more grinding. Yes, I love to grind.
Oh, all right. That's it for day 3. I am gutted. This has been a hell of a job. If you ever buy a race car, acquire a race car with a roll cage in it, please don't take it out. It's just too much work. But we were stuck. We had to do it. Really wanted to make it right. And tomorrow, Pat and his crew here at Cirrus Garage Work are going to do just that. They're going to build us a beautiful cage.
So tune into the next episode as we reveal our brand spanking new roll cage and hopefully get some Go Fast goodies bolted onto this FR-S.